Why does the United States pay higher drug prices than other countries? Because America's the only country in the world where 340B hospitals mark up drug prices and PBM middlemen charge billions in hidden fees. Meanwhile, Americans subsidize the research and development for new cures. Other countries benefit, but don't pay their fair share. Crack down on the middlemen. End the free riding. Lower drug prices. Go to balancethescales.org to learn more. Paid for by Pharma.
The Hoover Dam wasn't built in a day, and the GMC Sierra lineup wasn't built overnight. Like every American achievement, building the Sierra 1500 Heavy Duty and EV was the result of dedication, a dedication to mastering the art of engineering. That's what this country has done for 250 years and what GMC has done for over 100. We are professional grade. Visit GMC.com to learn more. Assembled in Flint and Hamtramck, Michigan and Fort Wayne, Indiana of U.S. and globally sourced parts.
This is Optimal Work Daily. The Productive Sprint by Leo Babauta of ZenHabits.net. In the past 2 weeks, I've written more than 45,000 words, including 10 posts for Zen Habits and Sea Change, and 30 chapters in my new book. That's a lot of writing. I don't usually write that much. It's an unusually high output for me, and I'm not usually that productive. The biggest motivator is that I'm going on a trip today for 2 weeks with Ava, and I needed to get my writing done before the trip. I call this kind of high-powered output before a vacation my productive sprint, and I do it probably 4 to 5 times a year for various trips and other events. Other people do that kind of feverish churning out of work before major deadlines, which is similar but imposed by others. I prefer to create my own motivation. Let me tell you about this most recent productive sprint, and then make some suggestions for doing your own. My recent productive sprint. These last 2 weeks have been some of the most productive writing weeks of my life, and the major reason is that I'm trying to get the draft of my new book done before this trip I'm taking. I'm pushing to get this book self-published and crowdfunded by the end of this year, which means I need to get the draft to an editor and then a designer and then a printer in the next month. And smack dab in the middle of that process, I decided to take 2 weeks off to travel. Hey, a guy's gotta have some fun too. I usually write my Zen Habits posts in advance before I travel, so added to the book writing was advanced post writing. So here's what I did. Started waking between 4 and 5 a.m., making a pot of French press coffee and writing as soon as I could. I would get up every 30 minutes, stretch, walk around, get the blood circulating. I would write all morning and some of the afternoon. I reserve some time in the afternoon and all of the evenings for my family. I discovered I can write 3 book chapters a day if I work like this. And I promised to send my book chapters each week to an editor and a friend so that I know they are waiting for my writing. It's an amazing feeling to write 4,000 plus words in a day, I have to say. You feel superhuman. The combined pressure of having a book to write and an upcoming trip were enough to motivate me to get up early and start writing immediately. I'm also writing a book that has to do with overcoming procrastination, so putting the book's principles into practice is a useful way to test them out in the wild. How to do a productive sprint. I don't think you need to have a high output every day of the year, but if you have a big chunk of work to get done, a productive sprint can be very helpful. I also do short writing sprints, most recently with my 21-year-old daughter, to make writing fun and focused, but the longer, sustained bursts are something else entirely. Here's what I recommend. 1. Create the time pressure. Schedule something a week or 2 in the future, like a trip or a book celebration party, where you have to get your work done beforehand. If you don't want to do a trip or event, just make a big public promise to friends that you'll get your project done before a certain date, or you'll have to do something really embarrassing and they can film it. You won't want to be embarrassed. 2. Map out your work. I had each day planned out loosely so that I knew how much I had to write to get done before the trip. On days when I would slack off a bit, I knew I was putting more work on future Leo and that future Leo would be mad about that, so I tried to do that as little as possible. Future Leo was usually grateful. 3. Carve out your productive time. What time will you get the work done? You can't leave this vague because there are lots of other things you can be doing, distractions that come up, emails to answer. Block off a specific time and make this time sacred. Nothing else should be able to be done during this time. 4. Work in smaller sprints. If you're going to work for a 4-hour block, for example, I recommend doing shorter sprints in this block, like 30 minutes each. This allows you to take breaks of about 5 to 10 minutes and makes the 4 hours more doable. And 5, tell people about it. At the end of each day, I really enjoyed bragging to Ava and the kids about how much writing I'd done. "I wrote more than 4,000 words today," I'd exclaim with pride, and they would try their best to look impressed. I also had 2 people I had to send my chapters to each Friday, and I didn't want to look like a total loser to them. Well, not more than I usually do. The huge pot of French press coffee is optional, but if you're a coffee drinker, you'll love the combo of high-intensity writing with thick coffee. Tea is a great alternative, and no, sports drink isn't necessary. May your productive sprints be filled with joy and a wild, towering passion. You just listened to the post titled The Productive Sprint by Leo Babauta of ZenHabits.net. What does it take to lead like a superhero? Find out on the Superhero Leadership Podcast, hosted by Marvel's former CEO and legendary turnaround expert, Peter Cuneo. Each week, Peter is joined by top performers from business, media, and beyond, leaders who have mastered the art of impact, resilience, and vision. Together, they explore Peter's 32 leadership essentials, revealing what it really takes to rise, inspire, and lead with purpose. Check out the episode with Michael Fabiano, president of ESG News, who offers candid insights on how leaders can run towards challenges and drive innovation in resistant cultures, embrace lifelong learning to stay ahead of disruption, and create environments where bold ideas thrive. If you want to level up your leadership, this is your blueprint. Search Superhero Leadership wherever you get podcasts.
As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why the new MyBiz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with MyBiz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit Verizon.com/business to get started today. New lines only. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes auto pay and paper-free billing and promotional discount. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge. Applicable add-ons, prices, and terms apply. Guarantee applies to base monthly rate and stated discounts only. Add-on prices additional. Offers end June 30th, 2025.
And thank you to Leo, and let me tell you a little bit about him if this is your first time hearing from him. Leo is a pretty regular guy, but he's become an expert in changing habits by making small, incremental changes since 2005. He's originally from Guam, an overweight smoker who is barely making enough money to support his big family. He's got 6 kids, and he turned all of that around, blogging about it throughout the process. These days, he lives in San Francisco quite comfortably and in charge of how and when he works. It's a great story, which you can check out at ZenHabits.net. But that's it for today. I will, of course, be back tomorrow, and that is where your optimal life awaits.